I'm Chris Puckett, and you're watching MLG Weekly, the only place where someone with a nickname like Pikachu won't get his kicked in the hallway. This week, we're back from our national championships with a completely stacked show. From the world of Halo, we've got an exclusive Skype session with Instinct, the 2011 national champions, and fresh off his debut on the Call of Duty stream, Goldenboy stops by the MLG studios to talk Modern Warfare 3. We've got a profile on StarCraft II Megaforce Team Slayers, and your boy Nexy is back in touch with his inner Viking with a first look at Skyrim. So put your cell phones on vibrate, because the most in-depth coverage of the world of competitive gaming starts here, right now, on MLG Weekly. The top StarCraft players in the world descended on Jönköping, Sweden to take part in DreamHack Winter. The international pool of competitors included some of the world's best, including Idra, Select, and Stefano. In the finals, it came down to two Koreans, Puma and Hero, for the title. Puma's Terran forces were not able to hold off Hero's Protoss army, giving Hero the final series win 4-3 and the $30,000 first place prize. Immediately after DreamHack, StarCraft fans switched their attention to the NASL Season 2 Finals. This tournament featured the same top-level competitors, many of whom made the trip to Ontario, California immediately after the tournament in Sweden. The bracket was a repeat of DreamHack, with Puma and Hero once again clawing their way to the finals. However, this time Puma prevailed, defeating Hero 4-2 in the final set, taking home the crown. In other StarCraft news, the November GSL Code S Finals took place in Seoul, South Korea. Major League Gaming's 2011 national champion Leenock and relative unknown Jokji made it to the top of arguably the toughest bracket the GSL has ever seen. In a stunning defeat, Jokji's Terran forces were able to take down Leenock 4-2, giving Jokji the victory and the $46,000 first place prize. Finally, the Northeast Championships took place in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The tournament featured a slew of fighting games with huge crowds coming out for Street Fighter IV Arcade Edition, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and Mortal Kombat 9. The Street Fighter IV competition was taken by Joshua Wolfcrone Philpott, who defeated Justin Wong's Rufus with his Sea Viper. In the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 competition, Eduardo PR Balrog Perez took down Christopher Chris G. Gonzalez. Perez ran a combination of Spencer, Wolverine, and Wesker as his team in the final match. Over in MK9, it was all Alex Detroit Ballin 313 Reyes who was able to take out Emmanuel CD Jr. Brito for the top spot. In this week's Fact Session, Shibby, Slasher, and JP are back once again to answer the questions you've always had but were afraid to ask.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Fact. Shibby here. I'm with Slasher, and we got, of course, the lovely JP McDaniel in the background right there. Guys, the Halo community is buzzing, has been buzzing lately about Zero Bloom. Is Halo going to be back next year? And first question is coming from Siren. The MLG Halo community has done a lot of work in the last few days. Is MLG trying to get in talks with 343 to help out with ranks? We have tried multiple times to work out something with 343 Studios. We, with you guys, are requesting for a ranked playlist. We know how much this changes the game and how beneficial it would be for us and our community. What were each of your favorite moments from the 2011 for all the games on the pro circuit?
I must say there was a number of things. MC has like a few throughout the entire year, from the first event. I thought started kicked it off great with the slit throat, and then the finger from Idra.
And I think overall, I was personally invested in the MLG Global Invitational, and I thought those three series were some of the best that we had all year long. So I was really excited to see the tournament kind of finish up with those three matches, because they were simply incredible, to be honest. So.
Yeah, and I think, that really has made Naniwa what he is right now, and kind of the aura that he has. It's from that Global Invitational win, beating MVP and NST in a row. He's pretty much shown everyone I am currently the best foreigner. Counter-Strike Global Offensive, which came out yesterday.
Awesome.
And is now out in beta. What are your thoughts? You know, I've gotten some mixed reports so far from pros and journalists I've talked to. I think everyone finds it's not 1.6.
Yep.
And it's not Source. And it's some weird little hybrid between them, and maybe a little Call of Duty is thrown in there somewhere.
One of the things that immediately pissed me off was the buy menus are a radial menu because it's made for consoles.
Yeah,
it needs to be, I want to be able to press B43 and just have it buy. Hopefully there's a console command that can turn on quick menus or something like that. Feels okay. The movement's kind of different. The shooting feels all right. The gunplay is all right. We'll see. I mean, hopefully they change a lot, and who knows how far off we are from it actually being released as a game. So we'll see. I want more maps, though. I'm tired of playing the terrible Dust. I want Dust 2 to be unlocked, or private games to be allowed so we can actually do some scrims, because that's a lot more fun than just playing pubs.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for allowing me to come on and host the show. I had a blast with you guys. That's it for the MLG FAQ.
Lim Yo Hwan, better known as Slayer's Boxer, is one of the most successful and popular pro gamers in StarCraft history. In 2010, the Emperor started his own clan of professional players and Team Slayers. MMA, Gonzi, and Puzzle are among the dozens of top players playing for the legendary Emperor. Check out this profile on one of the world's top StarCraft teams.
My name is Kim Dong-ju, and I made 4th place in MLG Anaheim. And I'm son of a boxer and Jessica. It's been always hard to actually help some other players rather than myself, but also it's actually fun to have someone to work with me and play with me, after all, for the same goal. It seems really interesting always, and it's also passionate that I play with my boys, and it's always been great playing with them. I've only been in Slayer's house for 2.5 months, but I already feel great. I already feel like a part of family, so everyone just feels like a family to me. I started playing Brood War when I saw the match between Boxer and a Yellow. That's why I started playing StarCraft 1 Brood War. And for StarCraft 2, I saw Boxer actually trying to rebuild his fame with the StarCraft 2 at his age, and I was very touched emotionally, so I switched over to StarCraft 2. I'm getting old, and I'm looking at my 30s right now, and I cannot play as I was before, and I'm looking for someone who could be as much as passionate like he was, and also I'm looking also for a player who's really talented. And if I find anyone who's talented and passionate, I'll push him as much as I can to become like me. MMA would be the closest. I thought about what Boxer has told in an interview, and it means that actually you could actually be someone who could influence in esports. So right now, the Boxer is the one who is actually influenceable and also a big, huge legend in whole esport and all around the world. I would like to become like that. Well, I couldn't overcome Boxer, but I would at least become same as him. I choose MMA as my rival since he gets all the spotlight from my team. To get all the love from my dad, which is a boxer, I have to kill him. I have to beat him so bad. Nowadays, MMA and Gonzi, such as my teammates, are much better than me, and it's too much for me, it's too hard, they are too strong. Anyone has a role model, and I do have a role model, that's a boxer. And he taught me a lot of things. He knew how to handle me. He knew how to tell me about all the games that I play. I learned so much about him. That's why he's my role model. Whenever I fail to win games, I always think about those kind of retirements. all the time. But as soon as I come to MLG, it just flies away. All the thoughts about the retirement just goes away after I'm seeing with all the crowds and the fans in the tournament. So today I'm here also to actually overcome retirement by attending MLG.
Before the 2011 National Championship, everyone in the Halo world was wondering which version of Team Instinct was going to show up in Providence. Was it going to be the team that crushed the competition on their way towards 2 straight regular season titles, or the team that got choked out in the late rounds, never to be heard from again? Our own Julie Alexandria sits down with Ogre 2, Tally, and Pistola to get the lowdown on this year's Jekyll and Hyde team.
Welcome back to Julie's show. My next guests are no stranger at all to my interviews. From finishing 7th in Orlando to finishing 1st in Providence, Rhode Island at the National Championships, and having 9 National Championship titles among the 4 of them. What up, Team Instinct? So how does it feel to be the national champions? I know, Tom, this is nothing new for you, having won 5, but what is it like for you, Lunchbox? I mean, this is your first one.
This has been a kind of a work in progress for me and Justin for the last 5 years that we've competed. So finally getting it, it feels amazing. It's still sinking in. You know, we've never been through an off season being the #1 team because we've never won a national championship. So it feels great and it feels good how we won. You know, we never really had a close 5-game series. We had some close games, but you know, we went in and we performed how we wanted to perform. And I think that's the best feeling.
Absolutely. And Ogre, too, this is your 5th national championship title. How do you take that honor?
I don't really know how to, I guess. Thank you. But I owe a big thanks to my teammates, I would say. Obviously, it's a 4 versus 4 game, and every time I've won a championship, I've had a hell of a team behind me. So I'd say just thanks to my teammates.
But what was your practice regimen like leading up to Providence?
Online, we practiced a lot more than we did for the previous 2 tournaments. We felt like that was part of our downfall in those 2 tournaments, was not practicing as much as we did before that, and specifically practicing the new game types as much. There was a game type change for Orlando, and those same game types were in the Providence lineup. And if you look at our Orlando series, the game types that we were losing, the majority of them were the new ones, and we clearly did not have a good enough team understanding of what we wanted to do on those maps. So we put in some extra hours on those online specifically. And then big shout out to the Pinocchio family, but the LAN network LAN that we got in before Providence, I think, is what sealed the deal for us. What
would you say was the best part of the weekend for all of you guys?
I guess the part that we look forward to most was playing Dynasty. You know,
I was going to say that too.
That was the match of the tournament for us. You know, we prepared the most for that exact series. We practiced those game types the most. We talked about everything we needed to do, and coming out and executing as well as we did, and trying to shut them down and ending it 3-1 was what we all wanted to do. And after we won that series, it's kind of like we all felt like we were going to win. We just had to go out and, you know, play our game on Sunday, and that's exactly what we did.
So how do you guys plan to spend the off season? What are you going to do?
Most of us are true gamers, and we don't just play Halo or don't want to. So we'll probably be playing some other games now that we actually have time to invest in checking out some of the other newer games that have come out.
So are there any that you guys are considering playing as a team now that you have a break from Halo? Any specific games you can name?
I'm really interested in Battlefield 3 because not only is it a great game, I've been playing it already, but they did announce a big tournament for it early next year, and I think our team might be playing together in that, but we're going to have to recruit some more people too because it's big games. It's like 10v10.
Wow. Who's on your list?
Shout out to Chris Smith, Shockwave. He's my first recruit, and we've been gaming hard already.
Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for being here. Congratulations once again.
This week, in our never-ending pursuit of giving you, our viewers, the most in-depth coverage of the world of competitive gaming, Goldenboy, the King Midas of Call of Duty, stops by and gives Slasher his royal blessing on Modern Warfare 3.
I am here finally with Goldenboy. Alex Mendez did Call of Duty broadcasting for the final event in the championships. I did. In Providence. How did it feel to be broadcasting the first event and it was the championships?
Well, you know, my motto is if you're going to do it big, you know, you're doing the national championship. One thing I did want to throw out there was that it was a pleasure. And, you know, I really got to thank MLG for it because, you know, they didn't have to. They didn't have to contact me. You know, Nexy just hit me up one day. He was like, bro, I want you to cast, do some guest casting. And I was like, all right, sure. And then he gives me another phone call. Hey, you're going to work full time. I'm like, yeah, screw it. I'll do it. Yeah, that's how I roll.
Before, I mean, how is it to be in, you know, a broadcaster role and then such a high-profile stage?
It was pretty crazy. I can tell you right now, I've casted small local events, I've casted online events, but I've never, ever casted something of that magnitude. But it was crazy. The fans definitely dug it, though. You know, I tried to throw all my energy out there, my enthusiasm. I love Call of Duty, so I just wanted to throw that out there for everyone. And I think everyone saw it, and they dug the cast.
Quantic Next Threat
Yes.
ended up winning the championships over Envy and Optic, which was pretty much a huge surprise. They were the secondary Quantic team going into the event.
Well, funny thing about that was that Quantic was actually the first team. Quantic picked up Next Strat as their first team, right? Then they picked up Leverage, and then they picked up another team called Team Ham, right? That was an all-girl team. But Next Threat was the first team they ever picked up. And I remember when Synergy contacted me about that, I was like, I don't know, but I guess it kind of paid off in the end. You know, those guys are good. Ironically enough, I rode the bus with Sensor, who's one of the players on Next Threat. Rode the bus with him to Providence, and I was like, so how'd you feel about this tournament? He was like, you know, I'm not too sure. And then, lo and behold, you know, guy's a national champion, so I'm riding the bus with a national champion. Guess that's how it works.
How do you feel about them beating both Envy and Optic, especially Optic, who were coming in trying to look for the, you know, the championship title?
You know, when you looked at the games, Optic didn't seem like they were feeling it. I mean, you know, Optic's a good team. These are the Call of Duty XP winners. I mean, these guys, like, they're dedicated to the game, and they're some of the best players in the game, period. But then you have Next Threat that they just come out of nowhere, and it's not really out of nowhere too that I want to throw out there, because this was a consistent placing team all season. They just couldn't get over the Leverage hurdle. Every single event they got knocked out by Leverage, who's their sister team in Quantic. Every single time. They finally beat Leverage, and then they win a national championship. So I don't think there's much of a coincidence that the talent was there the whole time. They just needed to get over that one little hurdle, but, you know, and they did, and it paid off.
So now moving on to the future for next season, Modern Warfare 3 just came out. What I've been asking everyone who I brought in here who's been playing on the Black Ops circuit and now has been playing Modern Warfare 3, what are your initial impressions?
One of the things is like, you see, with Modern Warfare 3, the maps are a little you know, the guns are good. The guns are good. I mean, the balance, I like the weapons, to be honest. You know, but given the right testing and the decent amount of time, it can work. We've been playing Call of Duty like Halo for a very long time now. You know what I mean? Like, we've had 11 game types. It's been a domination, capture the flag, search and destroy. It's going to be very difficult to switch from that perspective. It's going to be very, very tough. I don't think that the community is ready for it. I think they need to be, you know, weaned into it. Maybe something like doing S&D for like 6 out of the 11 game types, and then doing something like CTF for the other 5. Not just throwing it all out there right away, because you got to test the waters, and testing is like going to come up a million times when I talk. It's testing, testing, testing. We have to test.
The 2011 Major League Gaming National Championships played host to the finals of MLG's inaugural Global Invitational. After nearly 2 months of some of the best matches of the year, the competition came down to 4 players representing Europe, North America, and Korea. IM MVP Naniwa and EG's Idra were joined by none other than IM Nesty in the 4-person mini tournament that led off the live broadcast at the National Championships. Nesty's recent second place finish at BlizzCon landed him a spot amongst the 3 regional champions because the winner, IM MVP, had already qualified for the Invitational. The Zerg Professor, Game Genie, Silent Swede, and Graken all waged war for the ages with international bragging rights and $3,000 on the line. The first matchup featured 2 of the most feared Zerg players in the world, American EG Idra and 3-time Korean GSL champion IM Nesty. Defeating Nesty in a ZVZ matchup is, in the words of Artosis, the the hardest thing in the world. And once again, Artosis was right. Idra almost pulled off the impossible, but came up just short, falling to Professor Zerg in a tight 3-game series.
Surface area that they want to, and beautiful fungal growths on that top group. Those are going to fall in mere seconds. Oh, and Nesty may break through Idra's Hydra lines, and Idra GG's. Oh my god, Idra very upset with the loss here.
In the second matchup, European Protoss Naniwa toppled favored Terran IM MVP. The deciding game closed with a tense base trade that ended with Naniwa denying MVP's attempts to re-expand to the gold base, giving the Swede the win in a finals matchup against Nesty.
GG, Naniwa's going to play Nesty, but
yeah.
In the pre-finals interview, Nesty was very confident with his chances against his Swedish opponent after beating him at the 2011 BlizzCon Invitational. This self-assuredness seemed justified after Nesty easily held against the Swedes' early Dark Templar in Game 1, which netted the Professor a supply advantage from which Naniwa could not recover.
Way too many roaches, GG.
But Naniwa was not daunted by the loss as he executed a gutsy wall-less 1-gate expand in the second game. Nani followed this greedy build with a strong gateway army supported by Void Rays, which were too much for Nesty's roaches to handle.
It looks like a JP. GG.
The third and final game of the tournament was an instant classic. It started out with Nesty faking an attack with most of his drones, a bluff that persuaded Naniwa to cancel his expansion nexus and make 2 cannons in his own mineral line in addition to the 2 he made to block Nesty's natural. It looked briefly like Naniwa would attempt a 4-gate all-in to end the game, but instead he expanded before pressuring Nesty's front. Nesty tried in vain to destroy Naniwa's sentries, losing all of his Zerglings in the process. This prompted an all-out attack from Naniwa that featured a rare use of force fields to block a creeping spine crawler. Nesty barely held the attack, and it looked like the game might settle down until Naniwa blinked a huge Stalker force into Nesty's main, taking out the natural hatchery. On their way out, the Stalkers caught a sizable chunk of Nesty's roaches in the middle of the map, and Naniwa's expert force field secured a huge lead over the depleted Nesty. The deficit proved to be too much for the Korean Zerg, and Nesty was forced to concede to Naniwa's ever-growing gateway army with the GG.
I cannot believe that Naniwa is about to take out MVP, and once again he's going to take out Nesty here. Some more force fields going down.
And these roaches, oh,
Big
he got
blink.
blown. GG!
Naniwa has done it.
Oh my god.
The win marks a huge turnaround for Naniwa. After disappointing loss to Nesty at BlizzCon and a first-round exit from GSL Code A, Naniwa's decision to train in Korea instead of attending MLG Orlando proved to be a wise one. The Swedish Protoss showed that European players can compete with the absolute best in the world. Congratulations to Naniwa, MLG's first Global Invitational champion. This week, your boy Nexy is back from his Viking funeral to give us a first look at Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls.
Hey, what's up guys, it's Nexy. Now this week I'm dressed up as a Viking, or a warrior, or just some creepy guy, because I'm playing a game called Skyrim. That game that nobody will shut up about. Basically, it's an adventure game with a big open world. You can pretty much choose your own adventure, or you can follow the quest, or get tangled up in the side quests. But I really like the game. I only put a few hours into it, but I want to give you a closer look. Here's my first tip for you. The game is what you make it. If you're running around the woods the whole time, nothing's really going to happen. But if you go into the town and be real social and talk to everyone there, you're going to pick up a ton of side missions, and the game's going to get really good. So let's see what the talk of the town is. Can you tell me about Riverwood? Get a little history lesson. Oh, Riverwood's great. I'm a blacksmith. Job sucks. I was a blacksmith in high school. Let's go find somebody to chat up. What's in here? Let's just walk into somebody's house. Why not? What we got? Oh, and it's a hottie. Yo, what's up, baby? Oh, she doesn't like me here. Alright, see you later. Sorry for breaking in. Here's another tip for you, and it might not sound like a big deal, but let me help you not ruin your game. From time to time, you'll see little animals running around, such as this chicken. Do not kill the chicken. If you kill the chicken, all the townspeople are going to get pissed, and you're going to have a massacre on your hands. Alright, let's move along. I want to show you guys about the weapons. Now in Skyrim, you're going to pick up a ton of weapons along the way. There's huge weapons, small weapons, and everything in between. There's even magic powers that you can use. So I'm gonna demonstrate some of the heavier stuff. Here's me with a mace and a shield. I like the mid-range stuff because it's not too heavy, but it still does a ton of damage. You're able to move around and continuously swing at your opponents. Now I'm gonna take out a heavy weapon. This thing's a little heavier, so it's a little slower to swing it around. But boy, does it do damage. And last but not least, there's the bow and arrow, which brings me to my next tip. Never use this piece of shit weapon. Well, there you have it, guys. Just a little taste of Skyrim. And if you're down for throwing 1,000,000 hours into a game and getting absolutely nothing in return, well then Skyrim's for you. Whether you follow the storyline, take the side missions, or just choose your own adventure, Skyrim is actually pretty damn good. I'm Nexy, and I'll see you next time.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of MLG Weekly. Tune in next time when we battle once again against the forces of evil to bring you the most in-depth coverage of the world of competitive gaming.